Hello and welcome to my shop. My name is Tracy Maxfield. A few weeks ago I put out a short video on this Dewalt DW735 planer. I was asking for help. What had happened was this whole planer, the whole motor and blade, this whole top assembly was jammed and it would not roll up or down. Well, I have got that fixed, and I'm not going to be fixing this one in this video because it's already fixed. I didn't record it. I apologize for that, and the reason why I didn't record it is because I'd done taking it apart several times trying to fix it, and finally figured out what I needed to do to fix it, and I didn't record it because I didn't know that I was going to get it fixed. But it is working fine now, as you can see. It goes in either direction fine. I'm going to show you what all you do need to take off of this. I'm going to take this apart again, but I'm going to show you in this video what all you have to take off of it in order to get to what you need to get to in order to fix it. And I'm going to walk you through the steps that I took in order to fix it, and also to get it back coplanar, or not, but get it back parallel with the platen. I don't know that these actually, of course I didn't test it before, I had no reason to test it before, but I don't know that they actually get these completely parallel with the platen from the factory, and I'll explain more on that a little bit later on. But I got this one within a half of a thousandths back parallel, or well, parallel with the platen. It's just a half of a thousandths high on one side, and I'll walk you through that. I'm going to take it apart and show you everything that you need to take off of it in order to get to what you need to get to. The first thing you'll remove is this top panel here, and you've got the wrench for that right in the top of that. Now the next thing you'll need to remove is these handles right here. You'll need to take those off. Make sure that you do have this unplugged, which this one is unplugged, but you'll go ahead and take your vacuum off of it. And there's two screws right here, take those out. You'll also need some metric Allen wrenches, Allen keys. There's two of these, one here and one here, screws that fastens, help hold this front on. You'll need to take those out. This plate right here, you'll have to remove that. And there's three screws in the front of it, and there's one in behind it. And this screw right here, this one is the reason for having to take that little plate off. It's to be able to get to this screw right here. And you'll need to take this handle that flips your speed. You'll need to take it off. And that one is a 4mm. These others are 3s. And there's 3 screws that come in from the back side into this. You'll have to take them out, and they are a Phillips. And there's 2 Allen key screws right in here. They will be a 4mm also. You have to take those out. There's 2 wires right here in the front of this, 2 ground wires. Now they are a Phillips head, and you'll need to take those out, and you'll need Phillips screwdriver, something in the neighborhood of that. And there is a washer on the bottom of that, under it. You'll need to keep up with that. Don't lose it. It goes, the screw will go down through that, and the washer will go on the bottom side of that ground wire against the casing. Now you will need to take this gate, this depth gauge right here off of this, or if your planer head of course it's frozen, you can't move it, but if it's down low enough, you can just take this top of it off, and that'll allow you to have enough flex there. And you may even have to take this piece right here off in order to flex it out. If your planer head is up, you will definitely have to take that red piece of metal right here, that's what you set your depth by. You'll have to take it off in order to flex this out. But you'll need to take the cap off at the top of this right here. And it's a 4 also. And there's a piece in here that has 2 screws in it. It just holds your power lines over to the side out of the way. You will have to take that off, 2 screws out of it, in order to be able to have it, to be able to lift this thing up and get it all out of the way. And that is what that piece will look like. And it just holds your cables back over out of your way. All right, now it's time to lift this thing off of here. You'll want to get this back over and past your dust port. Just bring it up. Bring this front cleanup off of it, and then you'll have to work it out around this piece unless you take it all the way off. And if your planer head is down, you won't have to, but if your planer head is up, then you'll need to either take it completely off. There's screws down here, and of course the one up here, and this right here, you'll need to just take it all the way off to just be able to set your head back out of the way. Okay, now this cap for the end of this, it has a notch in it to go around this piece. You'll need to put that back on and make sure that you line this notch up with this this metal of this guide right here. That way it'll go all the way back down on there, and it won't be sitting cockeyed on it, giving you a false measurement. And the reason for doing that is, now this is what I've done to figure out which side of mine was high, which side was high, which side was low. And I referenced everything off of this one. This is the one that has the handle on it. The gears start here. So you want to level all these back to this one. So in order to get an idea of which one's off from this one, start with that one. And I just measured from the bottom, or the top of this metal insert that's in this to the bottom, took some calipers and pulled that measurement, and then measured each one of these, and that will tell you which one is high or low in reference to this. In my case, this whole side was high. This one was level and plane with this one, but now these two were high, which had my motor and everything setting. Of course, that's exaggerated, but it was setting like that. And what had happened, I found out, or I figured out, this gear right here, this it pulls tension into the chain. There's 2 screws in the top of that. If they get loose and this slides forward, then it's allowed to jump that, the links is allowed to jump that cog, and then that's going to cause this chain to get out. It's going to be, depending upon which way you're pulling it, which way you're not. When you're rolling it backwards, which is to come up, you get slack on this side. When you go this way, you get slack on this side. So you're saying that's slack, when it jumps that cog, it can cause it to jump these cogs over here. So you want to make sure that, and it don't hurt a thing, and just every once in a while pull the top on it, reach down in here and check these screws and make sure that this stays tight, because if it's allowed, if it gets loose and it slides forward and your chain jumps a gear, that's where it's going to eventually compound and keep getting out to the point of it locking. That, I believe, is what happened to me. I don't have anything to completely back that up with, but I think that's what happened to me, because I did find that these were loose. And I'm going to take this one loose just to show you how I adjusted these. And you can do this with it all together just to get this top so that you can roll it up and down. Just take the back screw completely out and let it slide forward on the front one, and that releases all the pressure of your chain, and that will allow you to take the chain completely off these links, or these cogs, these gears around each pulley, around each post. And I'm not going to adjust mine because mine is adjusted right now. I've got it within 1/2 of a thousandths off, but you do this just to get it balanced out. Take your calipers, pull your measurement here. If this one right here is a shorter distance, then this one is high. And what you'll do is pull your chain off of it, take you a piece of wood and a hammer, and whichever way, now you'll need to know which direction that you spin them in order to make it go up or make it go down. And you'll take a piece of wood and put it in that cog and just bump it, and keep bumping it until you get this one the same distance as that one, and then do this one, and then check that one over there, and line them all up with this one, the one that has the gear drive on it. Line all of them up with that one, and that should free you up, or it did me anyway. You may have something completely different going on. That will free you up so that you can crank it up and down. Now, here's where the hard part comes in, is getting all these dialed in as close as you can and I'm going to just explain that right here. But once you get this bed of this thing freed up, of course, you want to make sure that you put your chain back on, pull tension in it and all that. When you get it freed up, crank it up to where you've got room in under the bottom of it to work, and make sure that you've unplugged it, disconnected the power on it before you do this. But what I done was, you got 2 rollers and you got a blade. Well, the blade's what really matters, but you don't want your blade to be level, but this side here tilting or rocked one way or the other from the other. You want them all as close as possible. So when you get this freed up, when you get the same distance on all these posts, which should free you up if binding is your issue, go ahead and raise it up and take you 2 sticks, just a couple of sticks. This is what I did. And I went up and under to, and remember, we want to reference everything off of this corner. Make these parallel with this corner. You want the whole thing flat. So I started with the roller on this side. Just go again the bed and come up till you touch that roller, and then go over here to this side to the roller and see if it needs adjusted up and down. The roller is actually the only thing, and under there, if you can find a spot, you can use another spot, but you never know how with the shaping and stuff, just like this plastic or this metal here, this is higher here and it's lower there due to the way that this thing is designed. And it may be in under there too, but the roller should be straight across. So put that in under there, rest that on your platen, come up till you touch that roller, pinch them together, and then come over to this side and then adjust this again till you get that roller, this end of it, parallel or level with that. Then do the same thing back here. Come up here, get that distance again, go up and under there, see where this roller is at in reference to that side, and get it that way. And then do the same thing for that back corner. And then once you get that done, you should have the bed completely level, but go ahead and check your blade. Roll it down to where your blade is sticking down, or some spot that will be a solid reference. And when you get your reference on this side of the blade, doing the same thing, come to this side, but make sure it doesn't turn, because in that roller there is high and low spots. I used the blade as an actual reference, went down and come up to where it touched the blade and held it, and then come over to this side. Now I'm talking about up and under here. You've cranked this thing up at this point when you're using these sticks. Just cut you off a couple of, these are just probably an 1/8 inch thick, and That one's probably 5 inches long, that one's probably 4 inches long, and you could lay them beside each other and slide it to that measurement. And when you pinch it, just hold it together good. But come up and touch that blade on this side, and then come over here and touch this blade. Now here's how the reason why mine is 1/2 thousandths off. And when you get that close, I stopped. Well, I didn't stop, but I should have just stopped. When you get it to that point, you have a whole chain length on this. And when you take your chain loose, say this one is high or low, you take it loose and you adjust it to what will go in that. I found that my 0 is actually between the links. So if I would go one chain link back one way, I was about 1/2 thousandths off that direction. If I come back the other way to the next chain link, then I was about 1/2 thou off on the other side of it. So that was actually as close as I could get on this one. But just take your chain off. You can pull when you loosen that up, you can take it off all the way around. And my recommendation is to reference everything off of that post, since it's the drive post. Whatever it is, make the rest of them level with that. And you can pull that chain off and just stick your piece of wood in there on the cog, and you can peck it that direction or peck it this direction, whichever way you need to go. And you can level that back up. Like I said, I've got mine level, and I've got it within 1/2 thousandths off, which is minute. I mean, that is in my book, that is good enough. So now to put this thing back together. I hope that helps you. I apologize for not recording it as I was doing it, but I had attempted to fix this thing 2 or 3 times and never could figure out what to do. And with a few comments, got my wheels turning, and I finally figured it out. And that's a lot of how things kind of work out for me. But I hope that helps you. Hope it makes sense. If you had any questions about what I've covered, feel free to ask. Any other techniques or anything like that, feel free to share them. That way any viewers that watch the video can go into the comments and see what you done to fix yours. But that worked for me, and I am more than pleased with the way that it's doing now. I mean, it works fine. And like I said, it's just 1/2 thousandths off between the two sides, which is good enough for me. And I don't know how close they have those set by the factory anyway. But if you'll take 2 little sticks like that, that's what I used, and got that fixed up. If you enjoyed the content, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And until next time, thanks for watching.